Right, so let's start with the chanting. All right. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Kadvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may the all-pervading spirit protect us. May the all-pervading spirit nourish us. May we work together with great energy. May our study be illuminating. May love and harmony dwell amongst us. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. So we are now at the very, core place of Katha Upanishad. Now Yama is telling about that reality Nachiketa asked about. Nachiketa asked, what happens after death? Is some people say we continue to exist, and some people say we don't. So, what is the nature of our life? So now Yama is speaking about our higher self, our transcendental self, right? So the transcendental self, we have to remember again, very difficult to pinpoint and even conceptualize it. To conceptualize it is a difficult thing, right? So Upanishads and other mystics all give some pointers. These pointers are to, uh, we need some concept. Without concepts, human minds cannot think, understand anything. Okay, we need some concepts. So that we can conceptualize about our true nature, our transcendental nature, Upanishads are giving us some pointers. Okay, these pointers. So one of them is we saw in the last class, last discussion, that this our transcendental dimension is something which is which does not start and end. Okay, it is present all the time. So there was never a time it did not exist. It was not accessible to me, but that dimension is unlike the things we know, that which comes into existence, stay, and then vanishes, gets destroyed, and come in another form. But our higher nature is unlike any of this. This is one pointer, okay. Um, so these pointers are meant for us to actually meditate and think deeply about our higher nature. Okay, these pointers again are limitations. Okay, so that's why it's very difficult to have a neat idea about the higher dimension Upanishad is speaking about. Only way to get it is to live it. Only way to get it is to live it. Okay. Very soon we shall come across a verse which is a exact replica of a verse of Mundaka Upanishad, that the Upanishad will say that only reading about it, only discussing about our higher nature, and having a sharp intellect to understand all of these won't take you anywhere. Okay, won't take you anywhere. So unless you fulfill some conditions and you live up to the ideal, you won't get it. Okay, this is one of the things that is best understood, best recognized when we try to live up to that. Okay. So the first pointer was that na jayate mriyate va vipaschit. It does not die, it does not come into existence. That is a dimension of ours which is immortal. It does not. The question of dying and coming into existence, these do not apply to our higher dimension. Okay. And today, Upanishad is, in today's, the first verse that we shall see, it is all about that in that higher dimension, there is no agency. Agency. Okay. That doing requires agency. That is absent in that. That is the crux of the verse is this, that whatever we are doing, acting, feeling, all of these involves our lower self or ego. Ego is what which gives me my sense of identity, that I, this I. Which is this I? This I is always a conditioned I, a conditioned I. So conditioned I is ego. That is, Upanishad is trying to say that our, truly speaking, our identity is non-conceptual. Okay. But that is scary thing. Non-conceptual thing about ourselves. Okay. That is I without any I. Right? And actually the fear of death is nothing but our fear of losing to exist. I would stop existing. Okay. It's actually fear of ego death, fear of ego death. So the point is that in higher nature, with that higher nature, there is no agency. It is just pure being. Okay, pure being, just be, without any idea of I am this, I am that, I am doing, and I will be reaping the benefit, all of these. So that is our true self, which has no agency, which just exists. Okay, it has no agency. To give this idea, Upanishad is giving a very extreme example of killing. Killing is an act, right? Killing is an act. So Upanishad says that if somebody thinks I have killed or I am killing, that is not true. Okay, that is not true. And if someone thinks I am dying, that is also not true. Okay, but in two different perspectives. Why? First, one who is thinking I am killing, it is, in one sense, it is true. You are the one who has taken the weapon and killed someone. Okay. But your deepest I, the real I, it is not involved in any action. It is not involved in any action. This is the meaning. Okay. So that does not mean that I have permission to kill. Not at all. People who has ever had even a glimpse of their higher nature, they as a result, naturally they become compassionate to all, non-violent, cannot hurt anybody, cannot harm anybody, cannot think of killing anybody. But the idea is this, that even an act like killing is, actually speaking, is done through your body and mind and with a sense of ego, that this person said so, said me, and so I have to kill. Okay. So try to get this point, try to understand this point. Okay. So what does it mean that I don't kill and I don't get killed? So killing is being done by our ego self, okay, our empirical self, the self we are so much accustomed to. Okay. But behind all of this ego and all of it, the indeterminate nature of our true self, that is not involved in any agency. Okay. At the same time, if I am killed, what is being killed? My body, mind, and with that, my sense of I, sense of ego. Okay. But that self, that identity, that higher nature, which Upanishad is speaking about, it is not affected at all by all of this. All of this. Okay. This is the point Upanishad is trying to make. So, did I see a hand raised? Yeah.
Swami,
Yeah.
that was me. You said what I was going to say. I think a simple way of saying it is the ego that kills or is killed.
Right. Right.
And like that says it all.
Yes. 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 True. True. It is the ego that kills or gives the idea I have been killed. Okay. So let's take a look at the verse. We shall go into little more details. 9, 2.9. Okay. हन्ता चेत मन्नते हन्तुम हतः चेत मन्नते हतम ubhau तौ न vijānītaḥ nāyam hanti न hanyate. If a person thinks I am the killer, and if another thinks I am the killed, both of them do not understand. For the self neither kills nor is killed. This is the idea. So we have to remember the main idea is that uh, no doing is possible in our transcendental dimension. And in our transcendental dimension, it is we are pure being. And it is no doing, no agency is possible. So agency, doing something, and also reaping the consequences of that is all suffered by whom? Experienced by whom? The ego. The ego self suffers. Ego self suffers, not the higher self at all. Okay. So that is the point. So if there is no agency, so in that sense, there is no karma also, no effect. So karma and its effect um, is applicable to ego self. Ego self. Okay. That is why I say that how illumination can take one beyond karma, right? That's the question. Upanishads and other texts say that those who are realized, they go beyond all karma. What does it mean? What does it mean? Uh, do you remember now? Now it will become clear now with this idea. The idea is to do any karma, to any action, we have to have this sense of ego or self, right? Without that, who will do the work? If I have no idea that I am a person, I am an entity, and I have to do this work, all of this requires the ego. But what happens is once we discover or recognize our higher dimension, then since I am no more involved in my ego self, so all the actions that have been done by my body, mind, thoughts, all of these will be suffered by ego, ego only, not the higher self. Okay, that's how they go beyond any fresh karma. Moreover, whatever karma they did before illumination, they will bear their fruits, right? They'll bear fruits, but they are not affected by their fruits. Why? Why? They are not affected by the fruit because they are no more now identifying themselves solely with their ego self. Okay. So they see the pain, they feel all of these, but they have also this sense that all of these are belonging to my lower nature, the ego self. Okay, that's why if you remember, it's a naughty question in all the texts that an illumined one, Jivan Mukta, how they can go beyond karma. Okay, in that sense, they go beyond karma. Then they say that others see that this illumined person is suffering. Okay, but the illumined person, they themselves don't feel the suffering. Why is it so? The thing is that when we are suffering, more than the suffering, the sense that I am in danger, I am threatened, I am insecure, all of this pain I am suffering from, these are all narrative of the ego. Okay, narrative of the ego. But if for an illumined person, although this, objectively speaking, all these sufferings are there, but they could transcend beyond all of this. Transcend beyond all of this. What an analogy could be, for example, uh, those who have, say, uh, learned martial art. Okay, so even if they get hit, the same hit, same attack we get, and they get, they will still get the pain. Okay, but they have a higher, flexibility, I would say, to move beyond the pain, move beyond the pain and see it objectively. This part is hurting, this part needs some rest, all of it. Okay. So what happens is, for a illumined person, all these sufferings, we have an objective element in the pain as well as subjective interpretation of the pain. Okay. For them, the objective problem is there. Objective pain, suffering will be still there, but it will be far less acute because they could transcend their ego-based identity. Is it clear? Is it clear? Some idea about it. So they are no more subject. They will feel like this. Oh, it hurts. I did it. Now it is hurting. Okay. But others might see, I am gone. In others' sufferings, I am gone. I am no more. My everything is wasted. I am doomed because of this suffering. But an illumined person will go through all of these, but at the heart of heart, they would know that I am far beyond all of this. I am more than my ego self. So suffering is only pertaining to a part of myself, right? So when Sri Ramakrishna was suffering, it is in his biography, we see that towards the end of his life, he had throat cancer and painful. At that time, there was no medication, uh, what is called chemotherapy, what a radiation, none of these were there. And so it was very painful for him to talk, to eat, even to drink water. And so once he said, it is in the gospel, that is a recorded conversation, that he said, oh, my throat is hurting. And one of his young disciples, who later on became Swami Tulyananda, right? Tulyananda, Tulyananda, who came to San Francisco for Hanti Ashrama. Tulyananda said, sir, I am seeing you are in this bliss. Although you are saying that it hurts and all of it, but I am seeing that you are in bliss all the time. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, here the rascal has caught me. The rascal has caught me. That is, Look, cancer, throat cancer, the pain, I will suffer, you will suffer, other one suffer. Objectively, it will be same. In the scale of 1 to 10, if you go to ER with that kind of pain, and if they ask me in the scale of 1 to 10, what is your pain? Now, this 1 to 10 scale is not absolutely an objective thing, right? There is a subjective thing. Same amount of pain, one may feel tolerable, and some might feel it is intolerable. I am gone. I am gone. Okay. So, um, so objectively speaking, both are having pain, but subjectively it might differ a lot. Differ a lot. In the same way, because of not having the agency, the illumined ones do not suffer like others. Okay. Okay. Okay, I will take the questions, but let me break it down. So, again, and a wise one, a vipaschit one, identify oneself with a deeper reality, not the ego self. And what is ego? Ego is nothing, a collection of, self-images and stories, right? What is ego? Ego is, I think I am this. This is a conception about myself, an image about myself, which has been fed by different narratives, right? But they do not identify themselves with this ego. So the fear of death is actually fear of ego death. And the fear is that I will stop, continue to exist. But since the wise ones identify with a permanent dimension of being, which is beyond ego, they do not feel that the death is end of everything. So bodies can be stabbed, shot, burned, crushed, but it is Upanishad is not contradicting the fact, but it is addressing the one who experiences all of this. One who is experiencing these stab, the shot, or the burn, or the crush, that one is untouched by any of all of this. So killer and killed both belong to the realm of the body and mind. This verse says that one who thinks I have killed and one who thinks I have been killed, not both of them are ignorant. Okay, because this higher dimension neither can be killed and nor can it kill anybody. So, um, if I am killing with a sword, I am killing with a knife, with a uh, gun, whatever it is, all of these killer, the role, this role of the roles that I am playing in the process of killing, it is not applicable to that higher self. Higher self. Okay. That's why if I think I am killing or someone think I am killed, both are missing the point. Missing the point in the sense they are missing out the reality, a vast reality, the consciousness itself, the unbound, unbound consciousness, unlimited consciousness, which is not confined to anything. Um, they are missing that out. They are only thinking about their ego self, and that's why they are thinking, I am killing, I have been killed. So both of them are mistaken. Both have been mistaken. Why? Because both of them then have missed their true nature. They have not realized their true nature. Okay. Then ayam hantina hanyate. If the self does not kill, and it cannot be killed. Um, so only the body acts and suffers. Awareness does neither. So killer and kill do not apply to our higher self, right? Okay, let me see how many questions are there. Betty, go ahead.
Can you hear me, Swami?
Yes, yes.
I may be jumping ahead a bit. I'm wondering about the vasanas, and you've spoken about karma,
Yes.
and about the 4 disciplines in terms of its relation to the vasanas.
Yes. So what is your question?
My question is, before you come to this realization, you have to do something, don't you, about your kleshas and your vasanas?
Yes, absolutely. Not only that. Now we have to do all the other works. All the other works. Taking shower is a work. Brushing the teeth is a work. Okay. So after realization, would you stop brushing teeth or taking shower? All of this involves the ego self. I, who is now in this body and mind, needs a shower. Okay.
But before realization is what I'm talking about. I was thinking in terms of when you're talking about rebirth, it's always that it has to do with karma. Your karma remains and your vasanas remain. So I'm just thinking, to become realized, to become a jiva mukta, you have to use these practices, correct?
Yes, yes, of course, of course, of course. And Upanishad will be very soon speaking about the practices. Okay.
I think it's coming up soon, correct?
Yes, of course, of course. Now we are talking about the pointers Upanishad is trying to speak about.
It's not like you can click your fingers and suddenly your
Yes,
false identity leaves you.
yeah, no, no. As Sri Ramakrishna says very nicely that, a parrot in India, they teach parrots to speak divine names. Rama, Rama, Krishna, Krishna. The parrots keep on, chanting. But when the cat jumps upon a parrot, then it forgets all of these things. The real things comes out. Okay. So this is a test for fake Jivan Mukti and thinking I am illumined and really being illumined. Okay. So thinking about, thank you for asking this question because this is a very important question. How to know that whether we are identifying with higher self or lower self. This is a very practical benchmark we can think about. Suppose I am thinking I have become so spiritual. It is higher self or lower self? Lower self. I am more spiritual than the others. Lower self or higher self? Lower self. Okay. And anything like that, anything about any idea about me as the person, as the identity is vast, is bigger, and all of these are wrong conceptions. Okay. All of these are wrong. Comparison and all of these mean I am comparing my ego self with others. So this is the fundamental idea that the higher self is not transportation of ego to a higher thing. Okay. When Upanishad is saying your real I is beyond all of this, means it is not my geographical self. Okay. Not my cultural self, not my academic self, not my any other identities will pertain to him. Okay. This is the thing. If I think I, as Swami Ishadhananda, is Jivan Mukta, is the bigger one. So who is like me? Who is there like me? And I am so illumined. People are, some people are lower in spiritual progress. Oh, they are probably backward. They have not progressed. Any thought if comes across in my mind along this line means I have not got it. I have not got it. Okay. And here is the wisdom of the Upanishad. You remember in Kena Upanishad, if you think you are realized, you have not. You have not. And this is a paradox. Paradox. Those who are Jivan Mukta, they do not think we are free while living. We are Jivan Muktas. We are the ones the scriptures have praised. So what they do, what they look like, absolutely normal like others. Only thing is the shift. They identify less and less with their ego self. Ego means identity, narrative, comparison, all of this, all of this. Okay. And yes, yes, absolutely. So this is a very good test that whether I am identifying with higher self or lower self. Okay. Okay, Purni, you have a question? Unmute, please, unmute. Yeah. Yes.
It says,
Yeah,
okay,
you
have
can.
you let me unmute? Okay, great. No,
Yeah.
I was just going to compare that slaying and
Yeah. Oh, sorry. What happened? Oh, you got unmuted. Muted. Yes, yes.
okay, now I was just going to say about the killing and the being
Kill.
killed is straight from the Bhagavad Gita, right?
Yeah,
In both in
yeah.
chapter 2 and in chapter 11, when he shows the Vishwarupa and he talks about, because that's when killing is actually going to happen.
No, it is spoken in the second chapter itself.
Yeah, second chapter itself, he introduces the concept.
Yeah.
So, and it's kind of really bizarre when you hear it for the first time, because you go like, what is he talking about? This is on a battlefield. People are going to be killed.
Yes, yes.
But then he kind of develops it, and when he shows him the Vishwarupa, he tells him that they're already killed, or they're already, been
Yeah.
taken care of, and he introduces the concept of time being the destroyer.
Right, right, right.
And it's kind of like almost impossible to accept, because it's so different from our regular understanding about
Life and
life and death.
yeah.
So that was one thing I wanted to say. And my second comment, or I guess like a corollary of this, is like, while it might be easier, and I think I've kind of said this before, well, it's easier to accept, when you're in adversity, to accept, do not get connected to it, do not feel bad about it, and not. I think the real challenge is when you're doing really fine and wonderful, then
Yeah.
not to get connected to it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's like they say there are no disbelievers in foxholes, because that time everyone's desperate and you're craving to some kind of god. But when you're flying high, then we connect to that as well. So I guess the whole idea is that we should stop connecting to any doership, ownership aspect, both at the time of adverse events as well as at times of, victory or whatever, however well you
Yeah.
want to connect.
The better idea will be practical will be, it is very difficult not to identify with your sorrows and sufferings. It does not become practicable. Okay. Most practical thing would be um, even when enjoying and having a good time or having bad time, um, remembering the fact it is only a fraction of who I am. Okay, it is a fraction of who I am. So all these sufferings or all these good times are not all of me. They do not define who I am. These are part of what I am. Okay. That is more practicable in our day-to-day practice. For otherwise, if we think that this was the point, harsho shoko jahati. So they go beyond suffering and happiness. What does it mean? So they do not enjoy anything, or nothing is painful for them. No, it's not like that. So what is meant by that is, um, as we explained at that time, that they are not so much motivated by all of this. So these do not play a big role in their life in defining who they are. Okay, so for most of us, we are unconsciously, attracted towards the pleasurable things and our fun things, entertainment, and we resist what is painful and suffering. So actually, pleasure and sufferings control a lot of our life. Okay, but for them, they are not controlled by all of them. Okay, so something is painful, they can still go through all of it, keeping a level of composure around. Okay, it will a level of composure around. That's why in Buddhism, in Zen Buddhism, one of the practices is to, whatever suffering you are going through, do not try to change it. Okay, just have a, try to be as calm as possible and go through it. After going through it, you will definitely find that I was unnecessarily being afraid of it. It was not that painful, I was thinking. Okay. And they say that actually this is a great moral lesson for mental health. Mental health. That many of our mental health problems are our unreasonable fear of things, events, of ideas, or places, or people. Okay. And the main thing is deep-rooted fear about the thing. Okay. And the fear is about the pain. Pain about it. But if we go through all of these, unpleasant things, we will find that okay, it is okay. Okay. An example we can give, suppose the weather is not good, too hot or too cold, and two people are there, someone is always cursing the weather. To that person, weather will be much more adverse.
So, Swamiji, do you think then that the reasons we get adverse
Yeah.
is because we have to learn through those
No.
experiences? Would that be
No.
too much of a jump?
Yeah, no. Actually, this is the thing that all of these, in the midst of all of these, if we can, even for a moment, remember that this is not all of me. This is the problem is, apart from the pain, there is a sense of fear that I am going to, I'm going to, I will probably stop existing from this, all of it. It's a fear of, losing our identity or ego. Okay. Same, like praise and, criticism. Why people cannot take praise and criticism? This is, we know that ego-driven people cannot take criticism. Why? Because their whole identity is with the ego. Okay, I, the person, and I, the role I am playing. So if you criticize means it is a threat direct to my identity. It is my whole concept of my who I am. So if you don't praise me, I think I am not good enough. If you are criticizing me, I think I am gone. But imagine when we identify with the higher dimension, what happens? We see them objectively.
Swamiji,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, namaste. When we were talking about Jivan Mukta, it reminded me I was watching a video by Sarvapriyananda Swami. And in that, what he said is these titles, the Jivan Mukta or any other, they are for our purpose to learn.
Yeah.
The realized one, they don't have this.
Yeah, they do not think I am Jivan Mukta.
Right,
Yeah,
right. They continue with their daily life.
absolutely, absolutely. They are, as good as we are.
Yeah. And
Only
then
yeah.
the
I
other
told the
thing,
Zen story. Chop wood. Before illumination, chop wood, bring water. After illumination, chop wood, bring water. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. But when he said that, it just like it stayed with me that these
Yeah.
titles are for teaching purposes for us,
Yes. Yes.
and then the other thing I find is Adi Shankaracharya's composition, Shivoham, Shivoham.
Hmm.
That composition gives a good list of what we are not,
Yes. 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 Yes.
right? Until
Manobuddhi
the
hankaro chittani
last,
natham.
yeah, yeah. It gives a whole list of what I'm
I
not.
am not. Yes. What I am not. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
thank you.
True. 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 So, this reminds me another thing, as I very often like to say, that illumination is not an additive thing. Okay, it's a subtractive thing. That means many things will be taken out. Many fault way of looking at the world, they will be gone. Nothing else will be added. Do you get it? It is not that after illumination I will get super vision and I will be floating all the time. I can see or feel the world much more vibrant way than I have got some extra capacity. Okay. No, no, none of this. Actually, what is happening is the faulty way of understanding who we are that has created lot of clutter in our life. Those clutters will be gone. And one of those clutters is what? You know what? These titles. I am a Jivan Mukta. I am an advanced spiritual seeker. I am a Sattvic devotee. You know, I have attended so many classes. I have attended so many scriptural classes. I still attend 5 classes from 5 different teachers. All of these are concerning the lower ego, are the titles. Okay. So they are not at all for Shankaracharya says, Bhuktaye natu muktaye. These are all for your enjoyment. They will not free you. All of these things, all of these things. So any title, any self-conception about me, the person, comparing with others, my social status because of my spirituality, means we are going in the wrong direction. Exactly what we are not supposed to feel about. Okay. So here is a very important thing to remember, that we think will become illumined with all these, the ego that we have, and that will be, much more be expanded ego. I am a realized person. I am a spiritually advanced person. The thought, if it comes, I am a spiritually advanced person, it pertains to lower ego, which actually limits us. Instead of freeing us, is limiting us. Okay. And sad, unfortunately, many people come to spirituality with this idea that a hyper sense of self. Hyper sense of self. So they want to feel, special. They want to prove they are, beyond the common. They're extraordinary. And so they also come to spiritual many traditions only to, reinforce the idea we are special. We are special something. We are advanced someone. Others don't know about all of this. I know I live a higher life. All of this. So this is a danger. This is a danger. So anything, any idea about our temporal nature, our so-called empirical life, if that is transported to spiritual realm, that will be a mistake. That will be a mistake. Okay. Remember, our true nature is actually beyond any conceptions. Okay. So any title we give it to it is actually a bondage, not a freedom. Okay, Paul, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a question. I just had some observations. This mantra talks about kill or be killed,
Yeah.
and this mantra has some shock value.
Yes.
And Porny was talking about that, about how it seems kind of extreme, or most of us can't relate to it.
Yeah.
And so, like, one observation is, the composer of the Upanishad is giving an extreme example, but the same principle applies in less extreme situations. So
Right.
he's talking about kill or being killed, but it could just as easily be talking about suffer stress, or you impose stress on somebody else,
Right.
of any kind.
Yes.
So in that sense, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
it's one of those hyperbolic things that's in the Upanishads
Right.
that just kind of drives a point.
Right.
But also, like when the Upanishad was composed, it was composed by Brahmins,
Yeah.
and they would share it with Kshatriyas, who were
Yeah.
warriors at the
Right.
time.
Right.
And so, probably Bhagavad Gita probably was written 500 or 1,000 years after this Upanishad.
Right.
The cultural context was still the same, and people could relate to the idea of Arjuna, who is this
Yes.
warrior who
Right.
has to go out and kill or be killed.
Right.
And so that part of it was probably directly relevant to the
Yes.
listeners at the time.
Yeah.
And then a last observation is that Porny mentioned that, these ideas are kind of foreign or alien or almost repulsive to
Yes.
us,
Yes.
because we don't live in that environment.
Yeah.
But actually, like, at any minute, we could be in that environment,
Yes. Yes.
and it's happened throughout history where things can change at the drop of a hat.
Right.
And all of a sudden, the kill or be killed thing could become very relevant to your own life or to your situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks. Yeah. What I wanted to add. Yeah. Killing in the same way that extreme example is nobody kills anybody. So another example is who teaches whom, right? If somebody thinks that I am teaching, and if somebody thinks I am being taught, so in that respect, in that from higher dimension, both are wrong. Both are wrong. That's why they say that in non-dual Vedanta, they say that, the idea is after your lesson is over, you give something to your teacher as a mark of respect. It is called Guru Dakshina. Okay, Guru Dakshina. It is not wanted, or it is not demanded, but it's a tradition that from someone I learned the spiritual lessons. So I want to show my gratitude by giving something. So they say that when someone goes to a non-dual teacher, they say the practice is to give the gift after the end of the course. But for non-dual teacher, they say give the Guru Dakshina in the beginning. Because when the course will be over, you will forget who was your teacher and who was the disciple. Okay. That identity will go away. No, after this course is over, if it is done right, the student will say who is teacher, who is student. And that is correct. That is the goal of the course, that you no longer identify yourself as a teacher and you no longer identify as a student. So both are equal in the realm of spirit. So who is teacher, who is student? So teacher says, that's why give the gift at the beginning. Okay, later on you will have no identity to say that I taught you or you got taught. Okay, the same idea, that who is the agent? Who is the agent? Okay, and those who are interested in a little more, Shankaracharya in his commentaries very often say that there are two types of beings in the same body. One is samsari, another is asamsari. Samsari means the ego. Samsara is nothing, this ego. Me, my, mine, my status, my ideas, my liking, my disliking. I want it this way, not that way. I don't like that person, better that person should come. These all are involved with this lower ego and agency. So Shankaracharya says, who is samsari? So you have heard the word samsar. Samsar means which keeps on going, going, going. That is, which is in the movement all the time. That is samsara. And those who live in that are called samsari. Shankaracharya says, who is a samsari? Who is living in the world? No, everybody is living in the world. No, not that way. Samsari is one whose idea, I am the karta, agent, I am the bhokta, I am enjoying, I am suffering. This is all of me. This is called samsari. This is in bondage. And the goal is to rescue this. How to rescue this? Identify with something vast, your true nature. Okay, this is to again bring the point that in our highest nature, in our deepest nature, we don't do anything, are not involved in anything. Okay, so involvement, doing, suffering, all are related to the lower identity, the ego thing. Okay, yes, Karen, Vaidehi.
Oh, pranam Swamiji.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just for clarification, weren't the Upanishads like revealed as compared to composed?
What did you say? Say that. Ask that again.
The Upanishads, I always thought of them as being revealed, not that somebody wrote them.
Yes, of course. The idea is these, people who are contemplating on these truths and ideas, inquiring about their spiritual nature, these were revealed to their minds. So what revelation? Revelation not in the sense that, it was a flash from outside. They were just empty container and somebody poured wisdom into them. It is not like that. They were fit instrument. They were
Right.
the fit instrument to receive. Okay.
Right.
And then they kept in themselves, told their disciples, and much later on, they are put into written forms. And frankly speaking, the Upanishads that we find in our modern form, many of them, are not total of that thing. Some were lost and some were also added later on by others. There is no denying to the fact. Okay, most of the Katha Upanishad verses were probably, a revelation in someone's mind, one sage, someone, all of this came. But that game, speaking, whispering
Telephone.
Yeah. How it gets distorted in the same way. In the same way, things have been added. That's why we find one mantra of one Upanishad exactly in another Upanishad. Okay, so how can one, come up with the same idea and with same words? The idea was probably the same, but the wordings from one Upanishad was probably later on added to that. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So it was not like that. Some people sat, I have time today, let me write something. So let me write Katha.
Right. Yeah.
It's not composition in that fashion. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Any more question? I see still raised hand. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Preeti ji said something. Reminds me of the instance when a devotee remarked to Swami Sardananda Sri Ramakrishna gave you everything. And he replied, he made us nothing. So this is a wonderful thing, that illumination will feel like we have become nothing. No thing, okay? Everything we are thinking about ourselves is a thing, And Swami Saradananda, who wrote Sri Ramakrishna's biography, he said that Sri Ramakrishna made us nothing. So becoming at par with everybody, And this is another hallmark of illumined people. They need not be fully illumined, but you can understand a person's real spiritual progress by seeing how they treat others. Okay, we feel that they feel a sense of oneness with others, at par with others. This is something. They never feel we are superior to others. They feel that we are basically one, equal. Real democracy, real democracy, if we say, this happens in the spiritual world only. Who is guru? Who is disciple? All are same, that same non-conceptual vast reality. In that, there is no definition and no speciality, no status or nothing else. Okay. All right. So today, this much only. More verses will be coming up. That it is subtler than the subtlers and vast than who can, what are the spiritual practices needed to recognize this higher self. Okay, that we shall come to see in the other next verses. Okay. All right. So let's say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Here tomorrow we have Swami Vivekananda's birthday, Saturday. So those who live nearby, welcome to come to the morning session. All right. So see you next Friday and have a wonderful weekend. And let's say Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, 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 peace be unto all.